a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Dwayne? Good to see you. JP, what is up? Hey, welcome to Real Men. I'm Tim Steeves. This is the show where men get real. We have a great panel of all-star talkers ready to go, so let's meet them. In the house today, Chuck Byrn.
We're all-stars, apparently.
All-stars, Chucky. Also joining him, Jean Paul is here today. Good to see you, JP.
How you doing? What's going on, everybody?
Dwayne, the effervescent Hill. Dwayne
All-star
Hill
as well.
is here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, of course, Krista Sutton is going to hold it down
woman.
for us. Nice to see you, Krista.
Good to be
But
here.
before all them, I've got a couple of comments I'd like to make. Canada and hockey, where did we go wrong? Where did we start to lose it? It used to be about 80% of the NHL was Canadians. Now it's less than half. We used to dominate on the world stage. I mean, where were you in '72? Henderson scores for Canada! It's been a long time since '72. What the hell is happening? Is it the grassroots systems? What do you think, Krista? How do we turn this thing around?
Look, 50% before, but now there's just the expansion teams, Tim. It's not a big problem. We're still dominating. We still have the majority of the good guys out there. It's an expansion thing.
You think the talent's just getting spread too thin?
It's just getting spread too thin.
No.
We've got a per capita. Yes.
Canada's in the talent export business. That's what we're in. We export scientists, we export comedians, we export actors, we export hockey. And because we can't afford it, because we're essentially just a small town, we can't afford to keep the big money game, it goes to where the money is in America.
But
Is
it's
it
not
the tax
going.
system
Our guys
too,
are just playing.
Chuck?
For...
But I think our guys aren't playing as well because the Americans have come up in the last few years as well as the European players.
They're building rinks and they're getting the infrastructure that we've had for a long time.
And they've got a larger pool
But
to
I think,
draw from. It's the same
personally, I
argument
think
with
that
the
the Canadian players are now just taking it for granted. Hey, we're Canadian, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these guys
And
are
Canadian
working their tail off.
JP makes a good point. Is it us sliding, or is it just the rest of the world coming up to our level, finally?
I think,
I
the
think
rest of the world has
world's
the
coming up.
infrastructure.
They're definitely
Europe's had
stepping
the
up.
infrastructure.
Well, the Iron Curtain falls. The Iron Curtain falls, and all of a sudden we get, a ton of these, Czechoslovakian players, and they're all finesse players. Whereas Ontario has become so competitive that you've got to be a real bruiser. You have to take a real, Would Wayne Gretzky be able to go through the ranks as a hockey player without getting his nose broken?
And maybe
I
this is
think
part of
that's
it.
why.
If the style,
Yes, he would.
Yeah, he
If
would,
this-
because
if-
he's got goons protecting
Yeah,
him.
what if he got his back broken?
No,
the
also because
style-
he can skate. The art of skating is lost today, and Gretzky never got hit, not because he had goons protecting him all the time, but because he was elusive and very hard to hit in the open ice. That's
Tim's
the
got a
fact.
crush on Wayne.
the style of the game
Gretzky
is
could
changing. Like the style of the game, so maybe that's where we're losing out. Maybe we have to start coaching a little bit more of the finesse style play.
I think that's what I've
instead of-
noticed as well. I think I've noticed that a lot of the Canadian guys that they're churning out are just big dudes that just pound the crap out of people. Whereas, again, it's more Gretzky-like coming out of Europe where they're fast and pass.
Well,
problem with
JP, in the NHL, they play on the small ice surface, and then in the world, they play in this giant football
bigger,
field
yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
Is that the problem? Is that we go to the World Championships and suddenly we're playing on this soccer-size ice surface?
Because we've always
I don't
gone
think
to
so, yeah.
we've always gone to the World Cup and played on the soccer-sized ice surface.
And we've always done well on
and we've
those
done well.
surfaces.
But I think also what it is, Canada can only produce so many hockey players a year.
per capita.
We only got so many people.
Exactly.
And now that the league is bigger, they need people to come in from more places. And so the demand is there for people to train hockey players.
I agree.
So they're training hockey players in America. There used to be like 5 times as many ice rinks in Ontario and Quebec as there was in the entire U.S.
Do you know
And that's changing.
hockey in the States? Hockey in the States gets the same ratings as the WNBA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me
agree.
tell you what
Well,
So if hockey was as big as football was in the States, it would be 25% Canadians because all the kids would be focused on being hockey stars.
Any
in the
country
States.
that calls it ice hockey isn't taking it seriously
Any country that has
It's
to have
hockey,
a little blue
all right?
whoosh going after the puck.
Yeah.
I knew
Has
Canada
issues.
was in trouble when there started to be a lot more brothers on hockey teams, man.
What are
What are the brothers?
Three now?
What does that mean, JP?
There are
The brothers ain't supposed to be on
They're
skates.
taking over. They almost represent 1% of the
Come
league.
on now, just for safety purposes, man.
What's the
You're
old joke?
surrounded
There's
by
a whole
white-
bunch of white guys with blades and sticks out there.
That's
Is that
right,
where you want to
man.
be? Is that the joke?
That's
That's
exactly
why
what
Bashir
it
was
is.
hit. Okay.
That's right. It was racial. Had nothing to do with
racial.
scoring.
Oh man, it's always that.
How long has that black guy
Do we
been
care?
here?
But you know what?
Do
I
we
don't
care
think-
as Chuck? Sorry, man. Do we care as Canadians that we aren't dominant anymore in the world stage? in hockey?
Sure.
I think the main thing we care about is the teams leaving. I think we still produce very good hockey players. We
Yes.
produce a lot of exceptional hockey players, but we don't get to watch them in our hometowns, and that's what's making us question our
Franchises
ability.
are going, from Quebec City to,
Phoenix.
Arizona.
Yes,
come
I
on.
would say more people in Canada would probably be upset the fact that we're not winning at the Worlds. Because, I mean,
Yeah, that's-
it's pretty much, it's bragging rights that
Yeah.
we are the best. I could care who went to Arizona or Memphis or
Yeah.
the Bronx.
Yeah,
I
the
could care
Canadians
less. But, I
dispersed
mean,
all over the
the
NHL.
Olympics is what we wanted the big and the Worlds. Because we want to be able to say, we're number one, man. Screw USA. We're the
I
hockey
think JP's
guys.
right in that when there's a team with Canada on their chest, that means a lot to just about everybody, even the non-hockey
We're in
fans.
that big
Would you
red
agree with
leaf.
that, Krista?
Yeah, and then the shock comes when the guys all of a sudden are going back to Sweden to play and you really realize that all your heroes and all the heavy-duty hitters are going to play.
Exactly.
For their,
You're paying a ton of money for Matt Sundin, who's like, honestly, a beige paper bag. Well, I like this country. It's cool. I skate
Now,
fast in one
easy
direction.
now,
Easy. Now,
easy
exactly.
now.
You got to be careful. He only makes $10 million a year. We got to be nice to him.
Yeah,
He's
because-
got 11 Volvos are all the same color.
Yeah, careful, Dwayne.
Boring.
Careful, Dwayne.
Boring.
That overpaid pylon has feelings.
You don't. Thank you. You don't want a guy named Gordy from Kingston with 3 teeth in his head to go, let's go Leafs.
Whatever happened to Tiger
You
Woods?
got a guy named Matt. Mats. That's a plural.
Tiger Williams. He's
All right,
around.
that's
I know he
good.
is. He's
Hey,
in
that was
Vancouver.
fine.
He's still fighting
Yes.
Lanny
We're going to
McDonald.
go to break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about our strong women, a turnoff. You know what I mean, fellas? Those women that really have it all together. We're going to be joined by Barbi, and she's a strong woman. We're coming back. Hey, welcome back to Real Men. This segment, we're going to talk about strong women, and we're joined by one right now. Barbi, thanks for coming in. Nice to see you. Barbi spins at the Bovine Sex Club, DJs, and also in a band called Rocket Tits. I'm a fan, right
Thanks,
off the
Tim.
bat. Let's throw it to Dwayne Hill to get the segment kicked off.
Oh, strong women. Are they a turnoff? No. And yes. It kind of depends on what your opinion of strong women is. I mean, Wonder Woman is strong and sexy, but so is Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS. They're just strong and sexy for different reasons. Wonder Woman, because she ties you to a chair and makes you tell the truth. And Ilsa, because she ties you to a chair and makes you tell the truth. Okay, actually, that's a bad example, and this is probably just me fantasizing. So let me tell you the type of strong one I don't like. When I was in grade 8, the first big snowfall we had, there was a huge snowfall, lots of snow on the ground, and this girl in my class, we'll call her Tammy, she grew up early. She developed early. And we had this huge snowball fight, and I was stuffing snow in her face, and I accidentally grabbed her breast. And she gasped and stood back and kicked me right in my 12-year-old crotch. And while I was vomiting in the snow, she said, "That's for touching my breasts." And I thought to myself, if I wanted to touch your breasts, I'd still be touching them. And I'm 12. I hate girls. Now more than ever. So, strong women, yay or nay? Both. Tim?
I liked it, Chuck. I didn't agree with everything you said, but the 12-year-old package shot, that's got us smart, man, for sure. Barbi, thanks for coming in.
Thanks. I still don't wear a bra to this day, by the way.
You're not wearing a bra right now, Barbi?
Really?
Not at all.
That was you.
I'm famous for it.
You're my hero.
Well, it all started when I was in school, and actually somebody just like you who sat behind me actually decided to do one of these. Snap. So after that, I mean, I was in my training bra stage, so, you know.
I still am.
Dwayne is still in the trading bra stage. Well, that's good to know. And JP, what do you think? Are you intimidated by a strong personality, you know?
I'm not intimidated by a strong personality, but I think I like my strong women in doses. You know what I mean? When I want to be dominated in the bedroom, that's when I wanted to kick in the door with some big high heel boots and just, shut the hell up, lay down on the bed, and I'd just be crying. Oh, yes, thank you, give it to me. But
What exactly is a strong woman to you guys? Like, what do you, what?
Question, Krista.
Yeah.
Someone who's
What is-
assertive. Like, and I don't mean assertive in a bad way, because a lot of guys say, well, a strong woman is a bitch, which I don't
Yeah,
agree
well,
with.
there's a difference between
which
a
I don't
strong
agree
woman
with,
and
but
a
I
bitch.
mean, a
Attitude.
woman that's sure of herself is a strong woman.
I'll tell you-
And some women carry it off feminine, I don't want to include feminine, but some women carry off being strong women better or more naturally than other women.
Yeah.
You can be a strong woman without being a guy.
Well,
That's what I'm getting
I think
at.
I think the thing about strong women is one thing that I mean I think men find I personally do I find independence attractive, and I like that in a strong woman. I like when you're dating somebody you don't necessarily know if you're going to see them for a week because they've got their own lives, they've got their own friends, they've got to go and do their own thing. What you don't want is somebody who immediately goes, I'm seeing somebody right now and I'm not going to call you for 10 months because I've got a boyfriend now. That is not attractive. A strong woman
But that's
who
like not
maintains
a-
her independence is very, very attractive, I think, to all men.
Barbie, what do you think of that?
You know, I truly agree with that statement, but I think age has a lot to do with that as well. I remember growing up as a teenager and the strong woman not really being looked at as something that is attractive. I think the older that a man gets, the more they look at rather than a woman who is beautiful. Of course, I mean, people are attracted to women, you know, as they get older, but I think that men also like intelligence in a woman and
Oh, well, that- yeah, I
independence
agree.
later on.
Well, nothing worse than strong and stupid.
Yeah,
Oh, for
it's-
God's sakes, don't drive that. No, you're off the cliff.
What kind of men do you find are attracted to you as a strong woman?
I had a lot of, I had some problems.
Sorry. Rainbows are pretty.
I had some problems. I've been with the same man for more than 10 years.
That's a problem.
It's not a problem, actually. Before that, I did have many problems dating men because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, I take care of myself. I'm well-groomed. I am attractive, I guess, to most people. So initially, when a man, you know, clubbing when you're younger, a man comes up to you and starts talking to you. At first, it's small talk and, oh, this woman's really attractive. And then they ask you what you're interested in, what you do, and it's 3/4 of men that I've met have just kind of went, well, talk to the hand, see you later. These days...
Do you think that's because of the industry you're in or because of your attitude is strong?
It has to do with the whole beauty factor, I think.
Let me ask you this too now. As being a strong woman, and you would obviously say you're a strong woman, would you find that the perception of you being a strong woman that guys think, well, she's not very feminine? Like, what would you say
I've
you
been
do to
called
be
a
feminine?
lesbian many times, and I'm obviously not a lesbian.
Look, I didn't even know you were that. I didn't
listening.
even I didn't know you were the guest before you came in, so I'm sorry
No,
about that.
but
I
I've been-
apologize.
I-
But,
you know-
I'm
Yo,
kidding.
lesbian, where's my room?
I'm argumentative.
Is that what a strong woman is, though?
I think so.
Like, what would you say?
Well,
What
not
makes
really.
you feel like a woman? Like, what makes
What
you
makes
feel
me
like...
feel like a woman?
Yeah.
The skirt that I'm wearing is the only thing that makes me feel like a woman. The fact that I'm wearing
Your uterus?
pigtails,
Like, how do
my
you handle things?
uterus, my tits actually kind of. Yeah,
Uterus is a good
definitely.
answer. I like
Is
that.
it how you
That makes
handle
me feel
yourself?
like a
Like, I
woman.
know you're in
Definitely the way-
a male-dominated
Yes.
music business. You have a band called
Yes, Rocket Tits.
Rocket Tits.
Nice.
Among many other projects.
And even
That's one
your,
of my
your
projects.
DJing is actually traditionally a male-dominated
Yes, and
field.
there's not that. There aren't many female DJs around.
So is this something you've had to learn to deal with the industries
I've
you're
always,
in, or you've always been
I've
like that?
always been like this. Let me tell you, my whole family, my mother was very independent from day one. My grandmother raised a house full of young girls. She as soon as she separated with her husband, she never remarried. She always wore the pants in the family. There is definitely that sort of influence in my
She's definitely
life.
strong because we're just quiet as
I don't
hell.
wanna go, please,
I don't
she's
want to say
talking.
anything. She might punch me in the
I think
face.
That's all the time we have for the segment, and boy, did you ever put these guys in their place. They haven't shut their pie holes that long all day.
She choked me in the bathroom.
Unbelievable. We're going to come back and we're going to talk circumcision. And we talked to Joe Q Public about it too. Here's some clip. Coming back.
Are you circumcised, man? Okay, I am circumcised. I'm Jewish. I didn't really have a choice. You know, I needed to get cut to join the club. But I did read a disturbing article about circumcision that it cuts about 20% of your penis's natural growth rate. Not like I'm hurting.
Sure. Hey, welcome back to the show. We're talking circumcision this segment. And Krista, do you have a comment to get us kicked off, please?
Yeah, what I basically want everybody to do is look over my left, your right shoulder. See it? It's right behind me there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is an uncircumcised penis. Beautiful, isn't it? You know what? Circumcised, uncircumcised, cut, uncut, I really don't care. It's not the gun, it's the sheriff. Don't you think, Barbi?
I agree. But circumcision is also a cleaner way of life.
Yeah, there's
I
a
tend to
philosophical thing
disagree.
and there's a preference.
I
right?
disagree.
Okay.
I'm not circumcised, and I'm very happy about it. Sure, it looks like a little snuffleupagus, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
JP,
that.
a little snuffleupagus?
No,
A
well,
big
you know what I mean. A minute, because snuffleupagus was
A
big.
monster snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus was big,
But he was
never
also
did help
invisible,
much.
and
Dig
nobody
up,
believed he was
stupid.
there.
He was not invisible, and he proved to himself that he
Only
was
the-
there. As far as it,
Nobody could ever find the snuffleupagus.
The rare
I
snuffleupagus
figure
suicide
if-
episode.
As far as women go and saying it's cleaner and not cleaner and whatnot, if I want to get women, then it's got to be clean. So I mean,
Yeah,
Yes, this
you
is
know what I
very
mean?
true.
So-
Or make sure they're drunk.
I
Or have low self-esteem.
The hygiene thing is way overblown because,
So to
come
speak.
on,
No pun
as long as you
intended.
know where you keep the soap, you're going to be fine.
Well, you'll be surprised.
Well, I
Well,
don't
Barbie, I think you want to talk about those experiences, whatever they might be.
Oh, I've only had sex with one man who hasn't been circumcised, and if I can recall, it was so long ago. There was a little bit of a difference. I wasn't sure where it was for a while. Maybe it's
why
because
do
he
you say that
wasn't
looking
very
at me?
good, but
She's looking at me going,
It's
oh,
different.
She's not looking at
It
me.
feels
One at a time.
We were talking about hockey before in
Yes.
the Jamestown, the finesse style. You need a little bit more finesse, absolutely.
It feels different. It just feels different. But there are condoms out there that I'm sure you can buy that can recreate the whole,
There are vibrators out there that you can buy
The
that recreate a
dressed
whole
penis.
new thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't
There's-
think
there
having
are-
slept with one guy does not make you qualified, so I'm moving to Krista Sutton for a comment.
There,
She's been around. She's done
there are
extensive
some
market
women,
research.
like, it depends on how you talk about it. Philosophically, no. I don't think anyone should be altered in any way like that.
exactly what Plato said.
Yes, but there are obviously preferences, aesthetically, definitely. And the thing when you get into discussion about circumcision that I always get a little fiery about is when it's equated with female circumcision, which just to me it's apples and oranges to not be able
See,
to find
mine,
a difference.
I leave mine the way because I have the option. I could still get circumcised now, but
Guys
for me
don't
it's
have a choice.
fashion. For me it's fashion. I mean,
Like
whatever
to accessorize?
whatever the season is. I mean, if I want bell bottoms, I could have that. If I want to roll up the cuffs, I could do that too.
Sure.
I am not hemming it up, and then next thing you know, bell bottoms come back in style. Where am I?
Maybe maybe coal-burning stoves will come back in style, and then whoa, and I've got an
Skin well.
uncircumcised penis.
The point is, I
Dwayne,
guess
let's
it's
cut to the quick, no pun intended. Dwayne, are you circumcised?
Yes, I am, and that was purely because the doctor was fascinated to keep a piece. He used it as a shawl. No, I've heard that uncircumcised penises, and maybe you can confirm this for me. I've heard that because of the sensitivity issue, you climax a lot faster, which is great for me.
Well, let me straighten it out for you. I've never had trouble with women because I got a mouth. So.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, the girls like the sound of that,
Let's
JP.
do that now.
We're gonna go out on that one.
Well, we're going to keep that
So
clean,
basically,
too.
you convinced
One at
them
a
you were
time.
really good in bed. No, I was good. You see, other guys were just great. I was spectacular, just not wonderful.
I'm
Chuck, you want to tell us yes or no on this thing? What do you think? Are you circumcised?
My name is Chuck Byrn, and I have no foreskin.
Wow. So we're basically the breakdown
live
is
with it.
2 and 2.
I
I'm
don't
with my
much-
man JP over
Woo,
there.
Tim
and
and
nothing wrong with a hood on the sweatshirt,
No,
baby.
man.
It all works.
No,
it's
man.
fine.
You never know when it's gonna rain.
The only time it's ever really come up was, about grade 5, and it was just the one question, peanut, raisin.
Oh.
What are you dealing with? And then once you realize that those were the two options, either you're a peanut or you're a raisin. That's just the
Well,
way
you know
life
what?
works.
They come in a box together as well, so it's
Exactly.
all good.
Yeah.
As long as you cover them with chocolate.
I say
right,
turtleneck,
it's all
baby.
about
Turtlenecks
chocolate.
are in.
Turtlenecks are in.
Turtlenecks are in.
Jean-Paul, stop rubbing
But
my
at the end of the
forehead.
day, you guys had no choice anyway, right?
No.
And I guess
had no
that's
choice.
part of the issue is that you had no choice.
Right.
Exactly.
And so you got to live with what you have and make
You did
it-
what? To my what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mom. Was
And
there a
make
good
it-
reason?
I don't think it's a decision a lot of people are making in their, 20s.
Well, I hope not. 'Cause
Okay, we got to
it's-
get out of here real quick. When we come back, we'll have a couple more minutes on circumcision. Find out. I don't know, man. Real
Three
men
of us
coming
aren't.
back.
2 of us are.
You
2 and 2 is
decide.
the split. 50-50. welcome back to the show. We're talking about circumcision today on Real Men. And Krista Sutton, what do you think? If you had your druthers, either way, come on now, what do you think?
Tim, you know, I'm a little nervous to come down on either side, so pardon the expression, because, you know, we've got half and half going on here, and I'm single, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I've had more experience with circumcised penises, but frankly, I like them all, and I'm willing to give kind of anyone a
Man, that's
shot.
good television when you have Krista Sutton just saying she likes all the penises.
No, but I mean,
I like that.
From a man's
what I mean. I'm
perspective,
being
we
open.
like you for liking them all. Just don't rub the ends together. Don't. Because we're already this far apart as far as nose to nose. We just don't want you to rub
It's
the ends
okay,
together.
Dwayne.
What that
That's
means for
plenty
me to
from
say.
Dwayne right now. Barbie, what do you think?
I have to agree with Krista over here. I have had more men without the foreskin in bed, so I can't even remember the last time I had a man with a foreskin, which was a long time ago in a park somewhere. I can't even remember what park, but
Those
see, that's
foreskin
another
men are
factor
animals.
as well. I was drunk and, you know, wasn't very proud of myself the next morning. So I'm going to have to go with that.
Makes it sound like she
safe
slept with a crackhead.
question. That safe answer.
Wasn't very
so.
comfortable with myself after.
No, well, I think that was what was it. I had a bad experience, and I kind of blocked it out of my memory.
Well,
So-
maybe you shouldn't sleep with the guys drunk in the park.
Well,
I
that's
don't
what,
think that
that's
has
what you
anything
do
to
when
that's
you're
the
in
bad
high school,
experience.
though, you know? You do that in high school.
Us circumcised guys all have homes with fireplaces and hearts and more hot chocolate.
Hold on, one at a time. JP, stand up for everybody out there with a foreskin.
You can actually stand
Foreskin
up.
is good. Like I said, don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
We're running out of time.
Don't hate
Chuck,
me
on
'cause
the
I'm
last
beautiful.
word. Last word goes to Chuck Byrn.
I think people who are circumcised are probably going to be pro-circumcision. I think people who are not circumcised are probably going to be con just because they want to feel like they're the one that's the right one. Except for our friend back here, who apparently is playing both sides of the fence because he's not circumcised, but he's dressed like a Hasidic Jew.
That's all the time we got today on
You're gonna
Real
get in
Men.
trouble for that.
Nicely said, Chucky Doll.
Hasidic Jews aren't that strong.
Join us next time on Real Men, where men get real.
Just knock the hat off.
That's a wrap.